The last class of the first session, right? First season or first session, we have three.
The second.
Yeah,
the second subjects.
Second subject, like first, Anyway, I'm not sure how many class we had in the past totally. The first I taught about, the collective topic, Dura. And second, I talk about very brief about the mind and mental factors. And third, I'm going to talk about the tenets or dukkha. So when I had a plan for this class, first I thought, it's so important to give us some knowledge and idea about the basic all phenomena, like permanent, impermanent, the form, consciousness, everything. Then I hope you're going to get some ideas or some knowledge about the basic all phenomena. Then second, I thought, because everybody have a strong desire to achieve, happiness, also let's say, ultimate happiness or the nirvana. So in order to achieve lasting happiness, then you must need some knowledge, some understanding about minds and mental factors, as well as the positive minds and negative minds, positive emotion and negative emotion. Then you can able to develop the positive sides, and also you can able to reduce the negative sides. Finally, you're going to achieve kind of happiness, really the kind of the lasting happiness. And the next time, so I will talk very kind of brief introduction. I will introduce you, the brief about the tenets. So why it is so important to study about tenets? Because we are look like a childish. We don't know much about the reality. Even though we try to understand the reality, the nature of phenomena, the external phenomena or internal phenomena. But the most cases, we don't understand the reality of all phenomena because we are very kind of, ignorant, and we don't have enough information to understand the reality. So after you study about the tenets, I hope you're going to get some, the rough idea about all phenomena, how you can look at it, and the gross level, and also how you can look at the subtle level, then how you can look at very subtle levels. So this is like my idea before I teach Lamrim. For example, when you want to go to India, visit the holy place, first you need some idea, you need some kind of information about the holy place, the holy lands. On top of that, then you need some kind of idea how long you will take to get there, what kind of facility, the material you need to bring. So before, so when we talk about Lamrim, there are so many words like permanent, impermanent, previous life and next life and suffering. And also they talk about the Four Noble Truths, also talk about the emptiness, also talk about the nature of all phenomena from different point of view. So it is so important to learn like tenets. So we're going to have, I think, 15 classes for the tenets. 15 is supposed to 16, but I'm going to come back here 2nd of April. So we're going to miss one class. Then finally we're going to have a 15.
2nd of April is you.
Oh, 22nd. Yeah, 22nd of April. I'm going to come back here. So we're going to start the class on 25th until I think 13th of June. Then that means we have 15 classes. So in the past, I talk about the collective topic as well as the mind and mental factors. Sometimes, I'm very afraid because I'm not sure how much you got information from me, because you came to this class by taxi, by MRT, by walkings. It's because it's not easy to get this class. You have to, sacrifice your time as well as money, as well as you have to stay here every class like 1.5 hours. So sometimes, I bit worry, how much, the knowledge, idea, information you received from me. As I know, the Singaporean, you are always busy, even though you have a, really hope to learn something from me, but I'm not sure how much, you could learn from me. This, I have a little bit worry about that. I'm sure you're not going to get, the 100% information from me. Also, I'm sure you not really got the information as your, expectation. You have already, I think you had a high expectation about receiving knowledge, receiving dharma from me. I know, you're not going to get it exactly what you need, what you are, looking, or you are, expectation from me. So even though I hope you got some kind of knowledge, as I usually, mention to you, it is not just enough to get information, get a knowledge, get an idea about, permanent, impermanence, the karma, this thing. You have to practice as much as you can. So most of you, receive many teachings from many different masters, but the most time, most cases, we always fail to practice. So it is so important to practice as much as you can. So when we going to talk about, when I talk about the tenets, also it repeat the many things which we already talked in the collective topic. Is going to repeat again and again the previous life, the consciousness, 5 sensations, and also the noble truths. It's not, not much new information you're going to receive when you study about the tenets. After you study about tenets, then you're going to learn how I can look at the phenomena, how I can have the right view towards the phenomena. Also, you can learn there are so many different views from different tenets. It is look like, there are 3 people who are looking at a particular flower. The child or the child can see, kind of very colorful, but he doesn't have, precise, the detailed information about the flower. And the second person is quite like a teenager or maybe 25 years old. The person has a more idea, more information about the flower. The older person, when they look at the flower, he has, I think, exact the information about the flower, the color, the smell, the taste, and then the energy. It looks like, when we're talking about the tenets, it looks like, we are looking at all the phenomena, but the different people has a different view. Because due to the knowledge, due to the, different people experience. So, one, and second, why we have to learn tenets? So for most of us, we believe in Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, but we don't have, the correct logic, the right, kind of the reason why we believe in Buddha, what Buddha is look like. We just follow after someone. We just follow after some text and teaching. The tenet means what you going to believe, what you are believe. The belief must be belief based on the logic, the reason, logic and reasoning. Right? Without good logic, without the good reasoning, if you accept something, if you believe in something, but the belief, the accepting is not really stable. So after study about tenets, you're going to learn, okay, whatever I accept, whatever I believe in, I must believe in based on logic, based on reasoning. Then you're going to have a kind of stable the belief system and the stable kind of the faith towards someone. Also, the last time we have a test, and so far I think this is the kind of last assessment. So we have 3 assessment. One is written by Rita, she's not here. The second is written by Kiran Datun, is alright, she's here. The one is written by Carrie Chung. You? Okay, so I will review about these 2 assessment. So 3 of you, you wrote you got really quite good knowledge about the Dura, the collected topic, but I still can see something, some mistake here and there. It's very common. If you don't have any mistake when you give an exam, then there's no need to give a result like an exam. That's I think. So just leave about the results. First I will review about the Karen Dadun assessment. So the question number 1, list all the equivalent of object. I said you just the list put together the list of equivalent of object. I hope everybody understand what does mean object. According to Buddhist philosophy, all the phenomena are or is, all phenomena are object. This watch is object because it has a subject. So according to Buddhist philosophy, we should say, all phenomena are object. Object are phenomena is very equivalent object. So when we say object means due to if there's a subject which we able to perceive the thing, then we can call that is object of this consciousness, object and subject. So she lists all the okay, so equivalent of object. Object may be thing, non-thing or non-associated. So the object, so that all things are object, non-associated. It means I think the permanent things, right, are object. object that which can be known. So something able to understand, able to perceive by subject, and we can call like object. The knowledge object suitable as an object of mind. We can, the object also suitable as an object of mind. One of the mind able to perceive, able to comprehend the thing that we call object. So I think the question number 1, she wrote very precisely and very correctly. Then she didn't down right all the 5 equivalent phenomena. So also she said here, a knowledgeable object, then object is knowing by sentient being as a ball. For example, the mind recognizes the object, not necessarily being actually seen at that time as ball. So that means the ball can be seen by someone, not at that moment, that time. Maybe it can be seen in the past and we'll see in the futures. So the question number 1, she wrote everything very precisely. There's not much any mistake. Then number B is what is the relation between object and object of valid cognition? I asked the question, what is the relationship between object and object of valid cognition? The number B, and she said, an object is thing or non-thing or the non-associative form. So that thing that is known by sentient being, and it has been given a name or label as such as valid cognition, such as, for example, a ball. So anything can be an object, but for an object to have, cannot see it, but it is, valid cognition. It must be proven that is the object doesn't exist. Even if everyone cannot see it, but it is on another place. If it can be proven to exist, then it is an placed in many like my shan room, as home does exist. So I think here we can give the answer very simple way. What is the relationship between object and object of valid cognition is very equivalent. Something is object and necessarily, object of valid cognition. Something or something which is object of valid cognition then necessarily be object. Two of is equivalent. Which is this watch is object, also is object of valid cognition. This watch is object of valid cognition as well as this watch is object. So valid cognition means, for example, among the study partner, somebody could see this color of watch is like a white or like a yellow. Or among the study partners, somebody could see this is the black. The person who can see this watch color is black, the perceiver, the man is the valid cognition, because it can see the watch is black and the reality the color of watch is black. Somebody could see this color of watch is kind of yellow. This means the perceiver, the man is invalid, because the mind can perceive the watch color is as a white. In the reality, the color of watch is not white. It is an invalid cognition, which is cognize the watch color, cognize. So generally you can say object and object of valid cognitions are equivalent. Then, okay, question number 1. The question number 2, posit all definition of impermanence and prove example. Provide example. I hope everybody remember, the definition of impermanence. So, what is the definition of permanence? Definition of impermanence. So, impermanence means that all of the condition existent. So you can say that the definition of impermanent is kind of momentarily changeable. Right? Momentarily changeable is the kind of definition of changing. Momentarily changing is impermanent. So examples are. So I ask, so how many possibility between permanent and impermanent? And as far as she just, list the 4 possibility, permanent and not impermanent, 1 possibility. Or is impermanent, is permanent and not impermanent, 1 possibility. And both permanent and impermanent. And neither permanent nor impermanent. So if somebody asks, how many possibility between permanent and impermanent, we're going to say, there's only 2 possibility. Because something is permanent, not impermanent. For example, this watch is impermanent, but it's not permanent. The space, emptiness are permanent, not impermanent. But there's nothing can be both. There's nothing can be both, permanent, impermanent. Because permanent and impermanent are contradictory phenomena. There's nothing, can we say, sometimes permanent, something impermanent. It is impossible. It is permanent and it is definitely not impermanent. Someone is impermanent, then it is impossible to be permanent. We should say permanent and impermanent are contradictory. There's not kind of mutual thing between permanent and impermanent. But she lists here one unproduced emptiness space is permanent, not impermanent. This is right. Unproduced empty space is permanent but not impermanent, because space always permanent. Second, wave in the sea is impermanent, not permanent. So you would understand, right? The wave in the sea is impermanent. Is changing momentarily, minute by minute, momentarily. So it's not impermanent. 3, number 3, first, second, third, extinct bird, right?
Yeah, it's
not no more now.
It doesn't exist anymore. So
Yeah.
it was impermanent, but then now the non-existence is permanent.
Yeah. So she posed.
I found that, and I found it interesting. So I thought.
Yeah, she posed, the extinct bird, which is something exists in the previous time, maybe 100 years ago, now it's no more. She said, that kind of extinct bird is Like Dodo, the bird name is Dodo, both. She's a permanent and impermanent both. But it's not. Because it was impermanent in the future, now it's not permanent, it has finished, no more.
I just wondered if that was an example.
Mm.
I found that in a book somewhere.
Yeah, so there's
So
nothing
that
wrong.
was right.
So based on Buddhist philosophy, so the dodo exists in the past. At that moment and that time the dodo was impermanent. Now it's not exists. If it's not exist, we cannot say it's like a permanent. It's no more, you know. There's not really a mutual thing between permanent and permanent. And also it was an animal that had impermanence, but now it's, you know, extinct, so that the image picture of the dodo is now permanent.
So the picture, that's what it was, it's the picture that's permanent, because nobody actually knows. So the picture of the bird.
Yeah, for example, there was very, you know, unique bird in the previous time, somebody has seen, now it's no more, but the image, you know, kind of the image of the bird still we have, we remember the bird. But the image is nothing separate than the mind. Right? It's not like the mirror, and the image of the mirror. The mirror is impermanent and the image also impermanent. When the image has gone, then when the mirror has gone, the image will have to go on.
So, but the picture itself would be permanent because it can't change. But it's different. The picture isn't the bird. Could I say that the picture is permanent because it cannot change?
Okay, so now I'm going to challenge.
One of the definitions of impermanence is condition. It is based on cause and conditions.
Yeah.
So a picture, it has a cause and conditions. Because of it is a cause and conditions, so it is impermanent. The picture itself.
In the future, I think it's a good idea. We should have kind of that short debate class.
Yeah.
But Geshe, what do you think? Did I say correctly?
Yeah. Because
I hadn't thought. I was just thinking about the picture. It can't. The picture itself cannot. The bird itself cannot change in the picture because nobody knows. It doesn't exist anymore, so nobody can question it because you can't.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, because nobody can prove it. It's you know, there's no cognition of it.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. So maybe this kind of you can have a debate. Then question number 3: posit the definition of below. You know, provide example of each phenomena: direct contradictory phenomena, indirect contradictory phenomena, identical connected phenomena, and causal connected phenomena. These are very important. You know, the direct contradictory phenomena, indirect contradictory phenomena, identical connected phenomena, the causal connected phenomena. Look at all the practice we usually do. When you practice great compassion, the great compassion contradict with the anger. The anger always contradict, you know, the opposite of the compassion. This is a logic in Buddhism. That's why logic. Look at when the compassion arising more and more towards someone, then the anger going to usually reduce towards the particular person. It's the logic. In the emotional level, some emotionally directly contradict each other. Some emotional is not really, you know, not contradict directly. Somehow it can be, you know, minimized. For example, when you practice selflessness, emptiness, so when you practice emptiness or selflessness, it can be reduced all negative emotions. The understanding of emptiness is not direct contradict with the anger, with the attachment. It's direct contradict with the ignorance. So, you know, if you really believe in nirvana, if you really have a pure faith, have a Buddha, then you really have to know within yourself, yes, my anger and compassion is contradict each other. When the compassion going like a little bit decrease, the anger increase. When the anger increase, the compassion decrease. This is the the main logic we believe. If you try, one day you're going to overcome from all negative emotion, negative thoughts. One day you're not going to have any more negative thoughts and emotion. That's why we believe in Buddha. The second is indirect. I said, compassion and understanding of emptiness are not direct contradictory phenomena, but they are indirectly contradict each other. And then identically connected phenomena.
Sorry, Geshe.
Yes.
Can you elaborate on the previous one?
Yeah. Compassion and anger are direct contradict each other. It's direct opposite each other. And the anger and understanding of emptiness is not really direct contradict each other. But when you practice, when you do meditation on emptiness, it can reduce anger. It doesn't mean they are contradict each other, direct contradict. For example, I'm telling you a rough idea about emptiness, okay? For example, when you see something over there, certainly you can have a feeling, pleasant or unpleasant, kind of very neutral. When you have a really very unpleasant feeling towards the object over there, then at that moment you are not happy because you have unpleasant feeling. And that moment, if you think, oh, I'm just seeing the object is no more there. If you think this way, then certainly the unpleasant, the unhappy feeling decrease right there. So think about, just everybody imagine, different people have a different attachment towards object or toward things or toward person. At that moment, we are looking the particular person or particular object that we have a unpleasant kind of feeling or pleasant feeling, or you have a kind of sense of anger and sense of attachment. At that moment, if you do some kind of analysis, yes, I can see the person, I can see the object, very beautiful, very nice, very attractive. Then you need to put second thought, oh, yes, I can see, I can perceive. In the reality is really nice, really attractive. If you do this kind of analysis, if you look from different angle, then finally you can see the object, the person most attractive as before I have seen, right? You have seen. This means you just look like, you are making small hole on the like a balloon. When you make a small hole, slowly the balloon becomes very smaller, finally become very flat. This look like. That means, practicing compassion is, the practicing of compassion can be antidotes for all negative emotion, but not directly contradict towards all negative emotion. That like a connected circle, contradict. And the identically connected phenomena, the idea is very important, identically connected. So identically phenomena, for example, I said, human being and living being. Person like a man and human being, woman and human being. So when we say the person and living being have a connection. Because the person rely on living being. If the living being extinct, then there's no more sentient like a human being. And also I said, I hope you remember, look at how many people, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 people here. We are 12. And somebody, listening from the door, the person can hear. They are person, they are human being, they are people. If you're going to find, where's the people? And the people is not me, not you, not you, not you, not you, right? If you separate each other, we cannot find the people is separate than us. Also, we are not separate than the people in this hall. This means I am a part of the people, and the definition of people is existent on me. So why is it so important? If you learn this kind of idea, this kind of knowledge, then you can understand the two truths. The ultimate truth and what is the second one?
Conventional.
Or the conventional truth are the one entity. One entity. But there's a different name, but one entity. And the conventional truth and ultimate truth are connected phenomena each other. They are connected, they have a relation with each other, they have a both connection. For example, the causal connected phenomena, always the result have a connection, the result always have a connection with the cause. The cause never have a connection with the result, particular. For example, the smoke have a connection with the fire. The fire doesn't have any connection with the smoke. The causal connection always like this. The particular result always have to depends on the cause. When the cause is cease, then there's no more result.
Okay.
Particular cause and result.
But there's another way of looking at it. The cause belongs to that result. Without the result, the cause wouldn't be a cause. It would be just it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
what
what
I mean.
There are three different levels of dependent.
Yes.
Dependent doesn't mean cause and effect. For example, we can say, child. When we say she is a mother, the name mother comes based on have a child. Right?
Right.
Without child, we cannot call she's mom. It doesn't mean the mom has a connection with the child. Because before have a child, the mom already exists. The mom never depends on the child. The name of the mom depends on the child. For example, Eastern Mountain and Western Mountain. When there's a Eastern Mountain, the Eastern Mountain name must become based on the Western Mountain. It doesn't mean the Western Mountain and Eastern Mountain have a connection. They have a relationship. But we can name based on there and there. For example, if there are two persons, one is very big, one is very small. We can go, he's a small person, he's a big person. He's related to him, we can call he's a small. But the small and the big person, they never have any connection each other. There's a two totally separate phenomena. So when we learn about the interdependent, we can learn there's three different ways we can posit interdependent phenomena. So this is a number, like question number 2. The question number 4. List all in a subdivision of impermanence and provide example. So we have a 3 subdivision of impermanence, right? Form, consciousness, and non-associated formation. Then I give us some, target a little bit trick. What is the relationship between non-associated formation and human being? So, and here she said, and one is question I asked, what is the relation between non-associated formation and human being? And we must say the human being is the non-associated formation, all the non-associated formation, not human being. Right? Kanu? Kind of, they are non-associated formation. For example, the impermanence. Impermanent is non-associated formation but not human being. The human being will always be non-associated formation. So also I asked the possibility between Singaporean and women. Possibility between Singaporean and women. So how many possibility between Singaporean and women? I think there's a 4 possibility. Right? 4
Yes.
possibility. Yeah. For example, someone is Singaporean, not woman. Someone is woman, not Singaporean. Someone is both. The man is Singaporean man is a Singaporean. So woman is a Singaporean and woman. But I am not both of them. And also she explained the impermanence can be gross or subtle, subtle. So in order to understand the subtle impermanence, first we have to learn the gross impermanence. If you are enough, if you are quite good intelligent, if you are very intelligent, you can learn the subtle impermanence directly. You don't have to learn the gross level of impermanence. It's the way, in order to know the subtle impermanence, first you need to think the gross level of impermanence. For example, when you teach like a Chinese English to the children, some children are very intelligent. You can just teach them very quick way. You have to teach them kind of all the alphabet. But the children is not that intelligent. First you have to teach them alphabet, then gradually make it small sentence, this kind of thing. So for us, if you practice impermanence every day, special in the morning, then you always, first you remember that things are impermanent. Then my things are impermanent. And finally, I am impermanent. So that moment you always feel, oh, one day I have to go. It's very gross, right? One day we have to go. When you practice the subtle impermanence, then you look like, so your body, your mind, your speech, your house, your thing, all the possession is, changing very constantly. It look like, we never feel, but in the reality level, we are sitting in like a very speed car with the speed.
Oh, speeding car.
Speeding car. We are in a speeding car. So maybe among us, someone will drive, 60, someone 70, someone 80, or someone 90, someone 100, someone 110. Somehow we are rushing towards our final kind of, the life. We are rushing, not like, we're not slowly. We are rushing towards very speedily. Like, but we never feel, oh, today is over. That means I'm more closer to the death. More closer to the death. 1 year passed. So I'm 1 year, close to the death. So each morning when you just, open your eyes, think about this, yes, I know I'm conditioned phenomena. I'm impermanent. So even you think this way, and when you get some angry, you have to think, yes, there's no reason I really have to be angry to someone. I never know, I will die in the evening. So that's why when Buddha talk about the Four Noble Truths, first he talk about the dukkha. Within the dukkha, there's a 4 characteristics. The first he talk about impermanence. That's why, the Buddha said, if you don't understand impermanence, then you don't really, going to be practitioner. If you don't practice bodhicitta, you're never going to be Mahayana practitioner. If you don't practice, renunciation, bodhicitta, and emptiness, you're never ever going to be, Tantrian practitioner. So, as a Buddhist follower or a Buddhist practitioner, first when you wake up, just remember, impermanence. I'm impermanence. Also think about, so unfortunately, that the first Prime Minister of Singapore, passed away. So he was one of the very important person in Singapore. He is one of the important in the world. But when he leave this world, he had to go alone. He cannot bring his any kind of secretary, assistant, or brother or sister or wife or child, just alone. And also, when he was alive, he's so powerful. He can ask anything. But when he left this world, just just a karma, nothing can bring with him. So some us, something we too much worry about the possessions. I need that, I need this, I need this, I need this. We have too much worry, and we collect so many things, and if we die, right? If we die this evening, nothing, right? So it can be sure, if you're able to accumulate merit or good karma, it's always with you, always with you. That's why it's so important to practice impermanence. Then after you practice or remember impermanence, then you can remember everything. The subtle and gross. So I said, between Singaporean and like a woman, there's a 4 possibility. Then question number 5. Posit the definition of inner and outer matter and provide example. Yeah, this is kind of little bit kind of trick, right? Trick. So inner and inner matter. Okay. For example, the nervous system, the blood as inner thing, but inner matter, but we don't call this kind of inner thing. because this, I don't now forget when I asked the question. Oh, inner thing and inner matter. Yeah, the consciousness is inner thing, but not inner matter, because consciousness is no matter, right? That's why I asked is that the inner and outer matter. That means that this thing is out matter, not inner matter. The five senses, the five organs are inner matter, and the consciousness is like an inner thing but not inner matter. The matter always refer to a thing which is made of kind of molecule or
substance.
Yeah, substance. So usually, when you say inner thing, all the consciousness is inner thing but not inner matter. Inner matter consists of inner particle, yes, right, that are included with the continuum of person and them. This is, I think, little mistake, because inner matter consists of inner particles, this is right. They are included within the continuum of person. Continuum of the person is inner matter, right? That's why the person is not matter, because the person is not made of substance. And there's the question number 6. The posit the definition consciousness lists the equivalent of consciousness, and what are the relationship between self and mind. What is the difference between these, the mind and the self? What is the commonality of this mark? What is the commonality of this? I'm not sure what is it. What is the commonality of this? Even though I forget. What is the commonality
of this? I mean, the consciousness, community between the consciousness.
Okay. So why ask this? Why I ask this question? Because I think everybody understands the definition of consciousness. In the mind, the consciousness, the equivalent of mind, consciousness, awareness, these are equivalent. But particularly I ask, what are the relationship between self and mind? This is a very, very big question. Self and I and mind, or self and mind. Because among the 4 tenets, the first 2 schools, Suvatantarika and Jada, the first 2 schools, they posit the mind, the continuum of the mind is the person, self. So for example, when I say I am, my body is not me, all the 4, definitely the body is not me. So this body is not going to next life. Then they thought, you look at, I am going to next life. When you say I is not separate than the mind. That's why among the 4 schools, in the first 2 lower schools, they accept the 6th mind is the, like a sentient being. Sentient being is not separate than the 6th mind. They just in a pinpoint, yes, the mind is the sentient being. Sentient is not separate than the mind. But among the 4 schools, the last next 2 schools, the Suvatantarika and the Chittamantra and Madhyamaka school, they said no, the mind is not, the person mind is not person, that the continuum of the person mind is not person. Because they said mind and the person are contradictory phenomena. The person never can be mind, the mind never can be a person. It's contradictory. But so in order to know the person is not mind, the mind is not person, then you really have to know how we can label, how we can posit person, how we can posit human being. Because human being has only three things, right? Body, mind, and speech. So body is not the person, speech is not the person, mind is not the person. How we can posit? How we can label? Posit person. And also, we always also look. We are always saying, "I'm happy. I'm not happy." When I say "I," the feeling is not I. I is not the feeling. Why we call when we have an unpleasant feeling? Why we call I'm not happy? When we have a pleasant feeling, why we call I'm happy? What happened? For example, your the right hand put in the cold water, the left hand put in the hot water. That moment you can feel hot, you can feel cold. So what you going to say? I feel cold or I feel hot? Because both sides has a same temperature, the hot temperature and the cold temperature. What do we say? I feel cold, I feel hot. I'm happy or I'm sad. What are we going to say? And also look at, I said before, my hand is not me. If somebody hit my hand, then I'm going to say, oh, he hit me. Right? But my hand is not me. I am not my hand. If somebody touch me, this hand say, oh, he touched me. He hit me. So, and also, based on the Madhyamaga school, the seeds of the person is not the person, right? When the father put a seeds in the mother womb, the seeds is not the person not the seed. But the father usually say, oh, I born you, right? I grow you, I born you.
The mother give birth, mother
give birth, but usually the father said, oh, how you say in Chinese?
No, I father you.
I found you.
I found you?
No, father. English would say, I father you.
Yeah, look at this. What I say, I father you, but not really. He father him, right? He just put a seed. The seed is not him. He is not the seed. But we still say, I father you. The mother give up birth. So that's why it is so. Even though I tried to learn Buddhist philosophy for quite long time, but for me it's so difficult to understand, so difficult to posit the person, so difficult to understand the person, so difficult to understand he or she or him. The person is not, when we die, when we pass away, at that moment the body and person became separate. Right? The body is there, the person has gone, person has left this world. That means the body and the person is separate, not one. When the person is alive, but for us so difficult to differentiate between the person and the body of the person. Also, when I have a headache, then I say, I got sick. Right? The head is not me. I'm sick, but we don't say I got a sick. I'm sick. Head sick, then I say I'm sick. So that's why I ask the relationship between self and mind. So when you are alone in your room, when you are alone in somewhere, you just don't think so many different things don't think too much about different things. Just think about who I am.
Who am I?
Who am I? So what's the difference in me and my body? Who is really going through next life? Who is really coming from previous life? Look at, sometimes when we are alone in room, alone in some place, we have so many thoughts, right? We thinking too much if you make a kind of research about your thoughts, that 70 or 90% thought is unnecessary thoughts for you. Sometimes we are put, oh, he's good, she's nice, he's nice. You're always thinking others. There's nothing, nothing related with us. Many thoughts is unnecessary, nothing relevant.
Not relevant.
Somebody has a nice car, oh, he has a nice car. Then somebody, oh yeah, he has a nice car, maybe he got a lot of money, maybe, or he or she do some corruption, or she stole money someone. We put so many different thoughts. It's not relevant our day-to-day life. Nothing relevant your practice, nothing relevant your job, nothing relevant your, anything. But we have so many thoughts. It's nothing relevant for you. You don't think too much. If you want to think about which is relevant for you. Think about how I can have happiness, how I can minimize the suffering. This thing, it is relevant for your day-to-day life. Also, if you keep thinking too much, then you feel so tired, right? You feel so tired after 20 minutes. If you keep thinking something, if you realize, if you think, oh, little bit, then you feel, oh, I'm so tired. So don't think
too much.
Too much, which is nothing relevant,
Unrelevant.
in your life. Just forget,
Let it go.
Let it go.
Let go of it.
Yeah, anyways, the question number 7, what are the differences between substantial cause and secondary cause of the mind? What's the differences between substantial and secondary cause of the mind? I hope everybody remember the substantial cause of the mind. Also, this is one with the logic. We believe in the next life. We believe in previous life. So here, she wrote, what are the differences between direct and indirect cause? Is direct and indirect cause contradictory or equivalent? Support your answer with example. The first question, what are the differences between substantial and secondary cause? I hope you remember, the substantial cause mind always the previous mind. The previous mind is the always substantial cause of the next mind. Think about the 3 seconds. The first second of mind is the substantial cause of second mind. Second mind is the substantial cause of the third mind. The secondary, there's the karma and the 5 faculty, kind of the faculty are the secondary cause, not the substantial cause. We believe the mind always, the mind, the substantial cause of the mind always the previous mind. That means before we enter in mother womb, this previous consciousness is the substantial cause of the mind which is just entered in the mother womb. That's why we believe in the previous life. And also, based on Buddhist logic, we believe the substance, the substance never can transform as a mind. The mind never can be never not able to transform as a substance.
Yeah, cannot be transformed.
Each other. The mind stream always mind. The substance always goes to the mind. That's why we believe in previous life. And the second question asks, what are the differences between direct and indirect cause? What do you think? What's the differences between direct and indirect cause? Differences. Sonam?
Cannot remember, sorry.
It's okay. Yeah. Why I asked you this question? I asked intentionally because when I talk about direct, indirect, I said, when you say direct, there's nothing be between the result and the cause. Nothing can be between. For example, first consciousness, third, second, first, second, third. The first consciousness is the direct cause of the second consciousness. The first consciousness is the indirect cause of the third consciousness. Look at direct, indirect. But in generally, they are equivalent. Direct cause are indirect cause, indirect cause or direct cause. If you talk about the particular object, then contradictory. The direct cause of the smoke and the indirect cause of the smoking are contradictory. But the direct cause is indirect cause is direct cause. Right?
They exist
Make sense?
in this, because they exist in the same reference that we say. Because I am the indirect cause of the pollution, right? For example, let's use like the fire and the smoke. So the direct cause of the smoke is the fire.
Mm-hmm.
The wood is the direct cause of the fire.
Indirect cause.
Direct cause, because the wood's dead. So the wood is indirect cause of
other phenomena.
Of the smoke. So the wood itself is a direct cause and indirect cause at the same time.
Yeah.
So they are not contradicting.
Yeah. Look at the easy way. First consciousness, second, third. The first consciousness is indirect cause of the third consciousness. The first consciousness is the direct cause of the second consciousness. But the first consciousness is the both. It's direct cause of this consciousness, indirect cause of this consciousness. That means this is both. Which is what I'm saying, the wood and fire is the direct cause, indirect cause, both. Generally, direct cause, indirect cause equivalent. All the impermanence phenomena have to be direct cause, indirect cause. Because they have their own direct result. They have their indirect result. Yeah, this, so, question number 7. Question number 8. Posit the definition of true subdivision of connected phenomena and provide example. Yeah. How many possibilities between the true subdivision of connected phenomenon? What are the connection between human being and you? Yeah, so we have a true subdivision of connected, right? In a causal connected phenomena and identical connected phenomena. But between possibility, so there's a, I think, so there's only kind of two possibility, because that substantial connected phenomena and identical phenomena are contradictory. When we say, the connected, we always have a two things together. So I think, Karen, Dr. thank you so much. So you got 70 out of 100. 70. So we have another like 15 minutes. So carry. So you also got 70, 100 of 30, because both of you got very similar. And I note each other, put something wrong, I just cross here. One is cross one. Oh, because she posed, also same idea as Karen, what? Yes, she said, space of nature is permanent when it is composed space like the inside of pot. It is impermanent. So she said, space is kind of permanent, also impermanent, kind of both. You think this way, because when the space became space of pot, that moment she thought that space become impermanent. Generally, space is permanent. Can be inserted to be both permanent and impermanent. So it's a good way to think, when the space becomes space of the cup, space of pot, the pot has gone, the space has gone. That means she thought the space of permanent. That's why for me, I personally, it's so difficult to understand, what really can posit permanent. If we go more precisely, when we talk about space, there's a space of house, space of Singapore, space of China, Indonesia. There's nothing. This space just remains without touching any other impermanent.
Without what?
Touching, without rely on. We say eastern space is also rely on eastern parts.
Right.
So also for me it's so difficult to understand the emptiness is permanent. Because when we say emptiness is particular thing, right? Emptiness of the form, emptiness of the sound.
Kishila, when you say that, do you posit emptiness and emptiness of pot as equivalent?
No.
That's the thing. If you say emptiness, then the emptiness is easier because you only define emptiness. But if you say emptiness of a pot, you are referring to that pot.
So same as human being. When we say human being of Singapore, human being of Malaysia, human Indonesia, human of European, without all of this, there not be human being. Right?
Right.
Same when we talk about emptiness, without rely on something, there's not really emptiness we can posit. So look at when we say the definition of impermanent, if you just
which is why you say emptiness is also causal and conditioned because we derive that emptiness. Like emptiness of a pot, you can't see it, you have to derive from a pot and then the emptiness of the pot. Without the pot, emptiness of the pot cannot be traced. Yeah, right? But does emptiness of the pot depends on the pot itself? It is.
Emptiness of the pot is 100%. Emptiness of the pot is 100% depend on the pot. But the emptiness of the pot is not really arising from the pot.
It's two sides of a coin.
Yeah, but look at that. Precisely why we call the pot is impermanent, because we thought it's changing. It's increasing, decreasing, and one day is no more cup. It's same, when the cup exists, the emptiness of the cup exists. When there's no cup, when the cup ceases, the emptiness of the cup also ceases. But we usually posit the emptiness of the cup is permanent.
No, Kishila, during the class you didn't say the emptiness of the pot ceased because I asked you that question and you repeated me. I can't remember how you repeated me, but you definitely tell me that. What is that? It does not. It
I said it ceased, but not ceased by causes and conditions. For example, when you say the cup is impermanent, it's changing momentarily.
Yes.
Because it's changing not because of not the second condition. Because it's changing momentarily because of their its own cause and condition.
You also tell a very important idea. You say first moment of cup. So when there is a cup, there is a emptiness of the cup. So first moment and second moment. So does it mean first moment emptiness produce a second emptiness for that? It does not, because the emptiness come together with the pot. And it does not cease, it does not arise and cease. Which is why the emptiness of the pot itself is not impermanent, because it does not arise and it does not cease. At the same time, it does not transform. You deposit that.
It is right. Emptiness of the pot is not impermanent. It is permanent. But I said, when the cup is seized, the emptiness cup does cease, but not cease due to their own causes condition. The cup is seized because the cup is changing momentarily because of their own causes condition.
Correct.
But I said, but look at first moment of the cup, there's emptiness of the cup. Second moment of the cup, there's emptiness of the cup. But the two emptiness is different.
Yes.
The cup is different. But it's so difficult to say for me the emptiness of cup is a permanent. My personal, understanding.
Yes, yes. And sorry, Yeshila, can I reconfirm again?
Mhm.
So the first moment emptiness of the cup is not identically, it's not a direct cause of the, or indirect cause of the second moment's emptiness of the cup.
No.
So they are totally.
Because one reason, generally, emptiness is not cause and condition. It never can be cause of any other phenomena. The first moment of the emptiness of the cup never be cause of the second moment of the emptiness, because it's not really cause and condition, it's permanent. And also another I cross for you space, and here non-associated formation are human beings, right? Example of the matter is form. In that case can be pen, the cross one here, example of non-associated formation are human being, sentient being, Buddha, and example consciousness, example of non-associated formation, but human beings are the non-associated formation. You are right. Also sentient beings also non-associated formation. You are right. But the Buddha and the Buddhist sadhavas, right? Buddhist sadhavas are non-associated formation, as well as 10 also non-associated formation. But you just suppose the Buddha. When you say the Buddha, if you refer to Buddha Shakyamuni, the Buddha Shakyamuni is impermanent. If you say the Buddha, I'm not sure the Buddha. Who is talking about Buddha? Yeah, in generally, because I explained it, there's a four kaya, right? Four kaya, Dharma kaya, Rupa kaya, Sambhoga kaya, Nirmaka kaya. In generally, when you say Buddha, Buddha is a permanent. Rupa kaya is the body, is impermanent. And Dharma kaya is permanent. It's a when you say Buddha, you shouldn't refer to just like Buddha Shakyamuni. There are four: Rupa kaya, Dharma kaya, Sambhoga kaya, Nirmaka kaya. So I cross through. Then I think there's another cause here. The direct cause is about. I think you got some confusion. A direct cause is able to produce its specific result without requiring any other phenomena or cause to come into play. For indirect causes will require other cause and condition in order to produce it specific result. It's equal, the both need other requiring. But generally you can say direct and indirect cause are equivalent. Specific particular things in indirect and direct cause is contradictory. So you got like a few cross and you can check. So also I think both of you wrote very nicely, and also some of you haven't made assessment.
Yeah, did not submit.
Also I can understand it doesn't mean you did. I don't want to read right, or it doesn't mean I don't like this kind of class. I can understand because you really want to read short or long, but due to the busyness. And also, I know you have to get up early morning, after breakfast, you have to go for your walk and come back, you feel so tired. Not only that, you have to do so many other things. Due to those conditions, you are not able to write the assessment. Even though I really want to say thank you so much for everybody, always attend this class. And I mentioned before, I bit worried. I'm not sure how much you're going to get knowledge and information from me. I hope, within the 100% you got maybe 25% the knowledge and idea, which is good. In the future, if you collect 25, one day you're going to get 100% information. And really, thank you so much. And the next time we're going to have a class of the tenets. So after this